The birds are singing, and it is a beautiful morning. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Now this verse I find it so enigmatic, like a puzzle. And at the same time, in some level, paradoxical. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. Well, the first question is, what is the Tao? And he says, the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao, which means if I could define the Tao, it wouldn't be the Tao. Which is just fantastic. Which makes this conversation actually redundant, of no substance. Because in some way I'm trying to find it, we are trying to name it. And I get the truth is dynamic, as everything around us is, and constantly changing. But is finding it also naming it? No, because searching, or even a better word, inquiring, is not naming it. Because when you name, when you define, you will have a preset of beliefs, of thoughts, of words. And not defining it and not naming it, it allows us to look at the Tao without any preconceived notions, and thus inquiring is okay. So we are inquiring the Tao. I find it a fascinating subject, nonetheless. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. So I can't name it. So let's not name it. And the name that can be named is not the eternal name. Because by naming it, what about a person? What if we name a person? Does it mean we limit a person when we name the person? Yes, definitely. Because when you name someone, you put them in a box. Now you expect them to act a certain way. You have an expectation of them. So by not naming them, I will be able to perceive them as they are, and not as I think they should be, or as I think they are. And why do I even want a name? Why do I even want to name someone or name me? Does it make it easier to live? Well, definitely not. It doesn't make a difference. I certainly think it is a habit we have built a habit that is learned, a habit of naming things, a habit of believing. So this conversation is not about naming. Huh. And there is also no definition to this conversation, because if we define it, if I tell you it has a goal, for example, if I tell you that, then it will be far from the truth. And we won't be able to explore the truth. Thus, all we can do is inquire. We can inquire the Tao. We can look. We can let it unfold. We can be patient and not react. And maybe I won't even do that, because I'm not perfect, and I will possibly be caught by my habits. So the Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Well, in the second line, he's saying the unnameable is the eternal. Which means the eternal is ever changing. The eternal is ever changing. It is thus unnameable. And naming is the origin of all particular things, which means everything in this reality exists because it is named. Would that be accurate? Naming is the origin of all particular things. So I named it. I actually have no idea in which reality the writer wrote this. I mean, which reality I mean. From which plane of thought or plane of existence he wrote it. But let's... I don't think we can take the writing and apply it to the physical reality. Or can we? Naming is the origin of all things. So all things are there because they are named. So at some point they were named, I can see that. At some point we decided to name an idea and we built it. And now it is there in this reality. How about psychologically? Naming is the origin of all things. So for a thought to exist, does it mean I named the thought? That I labeled it somehow? That something arose in me and I caught it, got caught by it, or even more accurately, let myself get caught by it. And thus I named it. And thus it exists. Maybe he's talking about the existence of things and how they come about existing. How we name things, how we name thoughts, and thus they become real. We make it real. So if we look at a thought and not get caught by it, what happens then? Oh man. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Free from desire, free from wanting, free from being mesmerized, free from attraction, free from reaction. So pure observation. You realize the mystery. Pure observation, no naming, no labeling. You realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. So we only see the things. We only see the static. We don't see the mystery behind it. If we are caught up, but if we're not, we will be able to. No, we see the mystery. Oh wow. Sounds like the end of this conversation.